Merry Christmas. My name is Reverend Kim Wood, and I serve as the conference minister for the Southeast Conference of the United Church of Christ. I'm sitting in my living room. Behind me is our Christmas tree with sparkling white lights and a myriad of ornaments that my family has collected over the years. Today, I'm wearing a black top, a white stole, my gold medallion bestowed upon conference ministers in the United Church of Christ, and gold dangly earrings. I have ivory toned skin, an oval face, brown curly hair, and blue eyes. I'm wearing glasses that are half rimmed in gold. Before I share my reflection this holy day of celebration, I want to take a moment to offer my thanks to the people who have provided weekly meditations during the Advent season. To Reverend Heather Fosberg, our Associate Conference Minister, who provided an introduction to this year's series, Reverend Dr. Christopher Ray Alexander, Reverend Dr. LaShante Walker, Reverend Joe Engel, and Reverend Carmarian Anderson Harvey, you have provided words of inspiration, wisdom, and blessing as we moved through the season of preparation for celebrating the birth of the Christ child. Thank you. And now, on this day of good news, I invite you to receive these words from the first chapter of the Gospel of John. I'm reading from the Inclusive Bible, the First Egalitarian Translation, and I'm sharing verses 1 through 5. In the beginning was the Word. The Word was in God's presence, and the Word was God. The Word was present to God from the beginning. Through the Word, all things came into being, and apart from the Word, nothing came into being that has come into being. In the Word was life, and that life was humanity's light, a light that shines in the darkness, a light that the darkness has never overtaken. I love this translation of the words that open the Gospel of John. Perhaps you're more familiar with other translations, such as the New Revised Standard Version, which says, "The darkness did not overcome it." But the statement that the darkness has never overtaken reminds me that this interaction between darkness and the light is not just something that happened in days gone by. It's an ongoing engagement. It was present to God from the beginning and is still with us. These are the words that carry us out of the time of waiting for what is to come and into the glory of the Christ child's birth. What did it mean when the prophet's words came to life as that baby was born? Did the people experience one of those unexplainable shifts in energy? Did everything seem a little brighter amid the darkness of the tyranny and oppression of the time? What about today? As we celebrate once again God's overt presence among us in the birth of the baby Jesus nearly 2025 years ago, what is the impact on the tyranny and oppression in our time? Perhaps this annual revisiting of notably the most celebrated story in history bears measure beyond nostalgia. What is God speaking this Christmas? What message is the word bringing to us, to you and to me, and to this aching, fractured world on this day? One only need look at the historical backdrop of Mary's baby's birth to gain some perspective to our current predicament. Laws crafted and enacted to inflict harm and take away people's dignity, weaponization of religion as a tool for political and personal gain, racial and cultural profiling to round up and dispose of Black and brown-skinned peoples, women's rights to control their bodies whittled away. Such cruelty is not new to us. God's response then was clear: love. And I would surmise that it bears repeating, which is perhaps why it is so important for us to celebrate Christmas each year, so that we can acknowledge God's most precious gift of love. It's hard to imagine that such light as the pure and absolute love of God could be seen as anything other than what it is: God's endowment for all creation, God's perfect presence. But time and again, there are those who treat it as a threat, perhaps because it promises to break the chains of injustice and lay bare the places where evil has set in. Interestingly, there is yet another meaning of the Greek word that has been translated as overcome or overtaken in the scripture. In the King James translation of the Bible, the word katelaben is written in this way: and the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. Here, the darkness not only cannot overcome the light that shines forth in Jesus' birth, it cannot comprehend it. It is as if love such as this is unfathomable, and so it becomes contentious. It's intriguing to me that not only could the light, the word, not be overcome, but in fact, it could not be comprehended, understood by the powers that would wish to work against it. And I find it particularly enlightening and thought-provoking in these times when it often feels that darkness, anger, evil, greed, power-mongering, the desire to do harm, is trying with all its might to overtake the light. I find comfort, my friends, because the earthly entities that would readily overshadow and even co-opt the light cannot do it because they do not comprehend it. They do not perceive it. They cannot make it their own. It belongs to God. I don't know what lies ahead in this season of the world. Many predict harder times ahead, and I cannot deny that the signs are there. But I do know this: God is with us. Christmas is a beautiful celebration of the mystery and power of God's unwavering love. That love is revealed to us time and again as we clamor to the manger to witness the birth of Jesus, the Christ child, the light. And I also know what we have known for centuries. And as it tells us in the First Native Version translation, the light shines into the darkness, and the darkness cannot overcome it or put it out. May the light of God's love shine in you, through you, and from you into the lives of others this Christmas season and always. The more we shine that light, the more we share that love, the brighter and stronger it and we will be. Merry Christmas.